You better say it.
You got that street.
Oh, I thought you picked up.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Where's the flag?
Oh, yeah, moved on you.
Oh, my goodness. We're not gonna have any room for our
Oh, wow.
guests.
I
Yeah.
have 2 chairs left.
No, we have the CPAs coming.
I thought there was only one item on the agenda.
Last time we did 3.
Oh, there's
Sit
3.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is good enough for one.
Nice people.
Okay.
Yeah, one item. Figure out how to stand up and face the flag.
Are we blocking the camera?
No, I was just checking the time. That, perfect, you're blocking the, thank you, sir,
Yeah.
right where you are. No, you're fine. Oh, no, I didn't pay attention to that. I was saying it. Well, thank you all for coming. This is one of our shortest agendas ever. We have one actionable item, and I did not expect a crowd. So thank you all for coming, and welcome. We'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. If you'll all stand and join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll do roll call and establish a quorum. Councilmember Amberselli.
Present.
Councilmember Braxton.
Here.
Councilmember Sherrill.
Here?
And Staples. So we have a quorum. There's an announcement to start with for this evening, and here, let me see which the best way to do this is. Yes, we have a letter of resignation from Melanie Unges. Please accept this email as my formal resignation from Amador City Council. I truly enjoyed serving this little city. I'm here for support as the city moves forward with using KAI Partners for MIT services. Just reach out to me on my personal email or by phone. Thank you, Melanie. And by the way the Brown Act works, the date this is registered with the city clerk was today. And we have 30 days in which to post a letter of invitation for any individual who's interested in filling the open seat. And then at that next city council meeting, depending upon whether or not there are responses in anyone of interest or any individuals of interest, council will appoint someone to fill that vacancy. So that will be the process, and that will happen at the next city council meeting, which is in June, I believe June 12th. So thank you all, and please, for any of you who reside in Amador City, it's an honor to serve, and it's also can be fun to serve. So please think about joining city council. And with that, we are on to a presentation this evening, and I will flip the screen for you. You're welcome to pull this over and use the mouse or I can move it for you, whatever works for you.
I'll have you move it, I'll just
We'll
let you know.
see how inept I am on that. Okay, hang on a second while I just switch the screen. we go. Okay, so here we are, Amherst City.
All right, I think I'll just stay seated.
This is, for those of you who
Otherwise I
don't,
would have, yeah.
you can introduce yourselves.
Okay.
Thank you.
I am Kathy Castillo. I'm a CPA. This is Mela Sweat, who is also a CPA, and we also have another person, Susan Bordwell, who is the main contact during the audit. Also, another person in our office also worked on this review, which was Victoria Bordwell. So actually, all 5 of us worked on this audit report. And what we have for our presentation today is just the summary recaps. The reports flesh out all the details. All the numbers are derived from that. You also will want to read the notes that are in the back of the report because those flesh out the numbers. They explain what the accounts are, what revenues the city has. So you have to read the notes in order to get the full picture. For the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, so we're only 2 months away from the end of this current fiscal year, we did a review. For the June 30th, 2024 fiscal period, we did an audit. Okay, so an audit is very, very comprehensive where we look at all the internal controls of the city. We just do a deeper dive into the operations and we will interview more people with the city, and we will also interview other entities that you do business with. Okay, so if you contract with the sheriff's department, we may do some verification with the sheriff's department. We also will confirm monies that you receive from the Amador County Transportation Commission. Okay. We know that you are entitled to receive certain amounts, letters go out, whether you collect them or not, we have to verify. So that would be a review, an audit. A review is a little bit less in scope. We do not do as many confirmations, but we do a lot of testing. So on our audit opinion, which is the next one, we talk about what we did. Okay. So the review report, it does have more limited assurance on the financial statements, only because we do not do as deep of a dive into the internal controls of the city. And you're a busy little city. You've got a lot going on. But anyway, because we did the audit in 6/30/24, we can do a review here. We test to make sure the policies and procedures are still in place. So we do a limited review of your internal controls just to make sure that they're working. Any entity can have very good internal control policies, but what we really look for is, are your policies being observed? Are you utilizing your policies? Because you can have anything written down, but if you're not following your procedures, then you're going to end up having trouble. Okay. So the best that we can say for a review report is there are no material modifications to the financial statements. That is the highest level of assurance we can give on a review, and that's what the city of Amador City received. So it takes a lot of effort throughout the year for anybody to get this type of an opinion. So, it all ends up on the financial report, and you did get the best opinion that we could hand out. So, very good, very good. And considering all the activity that you went through last fiscal year, that's quite an achievement, and it points to a very active and involved board and officers. All right, so for the next page, this is our statement of net position. So all of your governmental activities are in one, are in the pinkish reddish. And then you have the sewer fund, which is like it's your proprietary fund. Sewer funds have to cover your expenses. Okay, you also need to make sure that you are collecting enough in sewer fees to set aside money for future capital improvements. Okay, so that's one of your fiduciary responsibilities. We do have aging infrastructure, and that is a huge consideration. Okay. So what we have is we have a comparison for the 2 years. Cash and cash equivalents increased over last year, but really that is really equal to the change between the cash and the investment account, okay? Because you moved money into CDs this year, and the CDs are considered cash equivalents. So, right? So you have less in investment, okay? Net capital assets are all the equipment, all your roads, any infrastructure that you have, and then we also do take depreciation on it. Okay, so if you're not making capital improvements, then that's going to go down every year because of depreciation. And you have well over $120,000 of depreciation in your governmental fund. Okay. All right, so liabilities are not that much, they're mostly accrued expenses. And then your net position is really what's the net equity of Andover City? You add up everything, your cash, all your assets, subtract out your liabilities, and which you have very little debt, basically. Your liabilities were everything that was due at June 30th, 2025, and was paid within 60 days after the close of the fiscal year. That's a very reasonable number. So really financially, let me restate that. From a financial viewpoint, the city is in a very liquid position. Okay. But infrastructure costs a lot, so you're not collecting more beyond a reasonable need to make the city function. So you're doing very well. So that's what the statement of net position tells you. So, what do you have? This is what you have. Your accounts receivable are mostly due to your sewer fund. You do have a couple of due funds within your the governmental fund to other funds. Okay, so that would be reflected in your accounts receivable. All right. Next page is going to be the balance sheet of the governmental funds, and this is basically all your major funds that you have. Of course, you have your highway and road, you have your COPS, which is public safety, and then you have some miscellaneous on major funds like parks fund, the school remodeling project, and then everything else is the general fund. So that is how you look. It's a very healthy balance sheet. That's what we're looking at. All right. Next page is your statement of activities. You're a governmental entity, you have activities. Governments are expected, they receive taxpayer funds, and then you are expected to spend them for the purpose for which they were received. So you have activities, all governmental entities have activities. Okay? So your program revenues are fees that you collect for different purposes. You have your property taxes and your sales taxes. Other incomes are your grants. Grants, depending on what purpose they are for, can also be classified as program revenue. Sometimes they're a little bit interchangeable. Okay, but it just depends on how the grant is written for. You also have, for other taxes, your main categories are property taxes, of course, your sales taxes that you receive from the general fund. I was trying to determine if the measure K, that the 0.25% increase in the sales tax, that is not reflected on this report. And the reason why is because it was effective January 1st, right? And so you have the first quarter, January, February, March, and then everybody files their sales tax reports, and those are due April 30th, and then the state of California gets them. And before they hand out those sales tax receipts, you know, it takes some time. So typically, for a third quarter, okay, so this would have been effective for your third quarter fiscal year, you're not gonna get that until maybe July. Is that what happened?
Yes.
And then, of course, the state of California, their fiscal year is also June 30th, and they're gonna hold on to that for as long as they can. So, anyway, so it's not reflected this year. Hopefully it will be reflected next year. You know, you'll have some to reflect. But you also incurred almost $4,400 in order to have that special sales tax. So that expense has been reported on these financial statements. But you know, you've got to remember you're still kind of in the hole for a while on that. And that's to be expected, but it's for 10 years. And so it's just the startup cost, basically.
This again happened with that lag time that you referenced, but that $4,400 or $44,000 that they wanted for establishing that special district was reduced. It was just reduced to $4,300.
Okay.
And because I alerted them that that sum of money represented 30% of our general fund, as opposed to Los Angeles where it was 0.007%. So, but all of that came in after the close of the fiscal year.
So it'll be interesting to
See how that falls.
plays out.
Yeah.
One of your biggest expenses, of course, is your maintenance and your outside contractors. And then, of course, we all have payroll expenses, which really hasn't changed too much. And then all other expenses, which are detailed in the audit report. All right, so to the next page, to the statement of activities.
Oops, did I go too far?
Yeah.
Let me go back. Oops, I'm not good with the mouse, so much better. Is this it?
So these are your more detailed on your governmental funds, all your operating funds. And you can see how much is collected for highway and road. But really it's the general fund that's getting most of the money. So.
Do we have copies of this? I can't find it in any of our documents.
Well, you have it, the electronic file.
Yeah, she's just.
Which is just summarizing the amounts that are reported in the audit report.
You have a copy of the report, Susan.
And these charts?
No. This is just for our presentation, but you do have a PDF copy of it. You could have that printed out.
Okay.
Which is useful. You know, it's a lot easier to read a graph than it is to look at these numbers.
Yeah.
They are something.
Yeah. But you can see on your comparative how how it's all working. And, you know, you're a governmental entity, you don't, you want to match your income with your expenses. And you need to set aside money for infrastructure improvements. Okay, next page, matters for discussion. Okay, so what, at the end of the review or the audit, of course, we always come across things for which we can make recommendations. You know, You need to get some value for your audit or review. Yes, it's mandated that you have to have these reports, but one of the nice things is because we can look at the total picture of your operations, we can make recommendations on how to operate more efficiently from a financial viewpoint, okay? So one of the things that every governmental entity has to do is you have to keep track of what are your assets? How many miles of roads do you have? What's your sewer plant? What's your water and sewer infrastructure? And you're going to be spending a lot of money, and you do need to keep some sort of a binder that has all your inventory, because for insurance purposes, you need to have a record of all your assets. You know, if there's a fire, you know, which Amador City has experienced. You need to know what your assets are, okay? What buildings do you own? Not everything's going to go on so you have a binder for that, and then you also have a fixed asset schedule on assets that are really significant, and those are assets that are generally around $10,000, what we're finding. Used to be $5,000, but $10,000 is what we recommend that you start capitalizing things so that depreciation can be taken on them, can be written off over the useful life. And depreciation is an important number because it's a good number to start with when you're trying to establish a capital reserve fund and budget for it. So you want to use that depreciation expense, okay? And we have those for the sewer fund and for the governmental fund, or your general fund, okay? Those are really good numbers to start with, okay? Because you're writing off the cost of these significant major assets. The capitalization policy needs to be raised to $10,000 because you only want to put the really significant items on it. Okay? That takes board approval, so that's something you'll want to address at a board meeting.
You need to formalize a policy, because right now you don't have a policy.
So Kathy, who is now doing the bookkeeping, she has sent us emails not knowing whether to capitalize things or not. Are they repair and maintenance, or are they a fixed asset that you're going to have for a long time? And so we told her that we were going to be discussing that at this meeting, and so we need to let her know after capitalization policy is. Okay, so for the Measure K fund, the sales tax, you want to be able to track that separately. You know, see how much revenue that's bringing in. So that's a whole nother class, okay?
I was just nodding
A
at
whole nother fund, okay?
I think we've done that. Okay.
You don't have to have a separate cash account, but you do have to create a separate fund for it. Okay. So track all the income that's coming in separately, because you're gonna wanna know what that's bringing in. Okay? All right, a formal investment policy. One of the things that you are doing right now is you're in CDs, okay, and they're laddered, which is a good, you know, and way to invest your money. The only problem with CDs is that you're stuck with them until they mature. What you really ought to look into is LAIF, which is the Local Agency Investment Fund through the State Control Treasurer's Office. Have you heard of LAIF? Okay. That is, they pay interest rate comparable to CDs, and you can get your money within 48 hours. And what happened was years and years ago, probably 60 or 70 years ago, the state of California created the Local Agency Investment Fund for small special districts, cities, small, counties. And what you can do is just go online, and it's very easy to get it established. So I would highly recommend it, and we can give you the website if you want. Yeah, just give us a call.
I think we did that in the past.
Did.
I think we found out that it wasn't insured. And I think that's when we switched to CDs. But
It didn't reach.
maybe it's insured now.
No, it's backed by the, it's the state of California.
Mhm.
So I'm not particularly certain about that, but it is, in an investment policy, the treasurer has to meet certain requirements in investing municipal funds. And it is probably one of the easiest investments and a good rate of return. You will find rate of returns comparable to what you're getting on those CDs with liquidity, which is really important. So, and it's just all done over the internet. Once a month, you can print off your bank statement, but it's pooled. It's all pooled, and you do get a good investment rate.
That was something that the city discussed about 3 years ago, and it was, our treasurer at that particular time was adamant about not doing it. It was on that advice, I think that the board did not, but thank you for bringing it up again.
Facts and circumstances change all the time.
They do.
So what was appropriate at that time may not, those reasons may not exist any longer. So it's well worth looking into, and then decide what you feel comfortable with.
Okay, that's your job.
So and you will have to do a formal investment policy, but you can get that off the internet, or the treasurer's office. A lot of these governmental, I'm trying to think of
The GA,
Oh,
that website
yeah.
that has like those policies.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can just download a template and just, kind of just fill in Amber City, and then you have an investment policy. But basically, it will say that you have to stick with low risk, and they do have to have a certain insurance to them, so. Anyway, I'll have Susan contact you with that information, okay?
Thank you.
All right, and then the fund accounting, that's pretty much, just really be careful when you spend out of a fund, like streets and roads, that you don't spend it out of the general fund, that you make sure that you post it to the appropriate fund. So we do review that. It's easy to classify something to the sewer fund, and really it should have gone to the general fund for streets and roads. So anyway, we do look at that, just try to, keep an eye on things. And when Kathy provides you with monthly reports, really, try to make sure that things are posted to the correct fund. So that is your review report.
Wow.
Thank you so much. It's always fun to come here and work with your city. Everyone is really very enjoyable and professional to work with. And it's very nice to have an active and involved board. That's really important. It's a great internal control, and you can tell. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. No, that was lovely.
Susan would have been here, but it was her husband's birthday, and so
Well,
they
okay.
had to go out for dinner.
Oh, she was missed, but thank you. It was good
All
to see
right,
you,
thank you
Kathy.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, well, thank you all for sitting through that. I'm glad that the news was encouraging that the city has been responsible. Would have been kind of sad otherwise. And thank you, Lydia, ever so much. Yeah, great addition here. So we're on to public comment, and under provisions of the California Code, citizens wishing to address council for any matter not on the agenda, and there's only one item, may do so at this time. Please limit comments to 5 minutes or less. And with that, public comment tonight, I'm guessing. Thank you.
Yes,
Chair
since it
Goodman.
wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah.
So primarily the Sheriff's Office respects the autonomy of Amador City as an incorporated city. As an incorporated city, Amador City has elected to take on certain responsibilities to its citizens, businesses, and visitors. Chief amongst these responsibilities is the need to provide public safety through whatever means of your choice. While we would respect the decision to switch to the city of Sutter Creek, we feel the city council and the residents of Amador City should make the decision based upon honest, factual information rather than the flawed and grossly inaccurate information that was supplied at the last city council meeting. Having accurate information will be critical for the city council and residents to understand the changes that will be brought about if Amador City elects to have Sutter Creek provide its policing services. The first one I will address is Amador City. You have requested to terminate our contract, and as of last month, I have already had my budget approved by the Board of Supervisors. Therefore, that revenue is already in my budget, so I will not be agreeing to the less than 1 year termination. What was brought up that we found concerning was if there's something too significant for the city of Sutter Creek's police department to handle, we could just call the sheriff's office, and I'm under some type of obligation to provide services. So that is factually not correct. I had the same conversation with the city of Plymouth when they decided they wanted to look elsewhere for a contract. They put it out to RFP. I didn't even respond to that RFP. I'm under no obligation to provide law enforcement services for an incorporated city. That includes no obligation to come in and do any type of investigation, offer any type of resources to that city. So I just wanted to make sure that was perfectly clear. What was also brought up is there's no risk for Amador City if things don't work out with the city of Sutter Creek, we can just switch back to the sheriff's office. While that could be possible, once again, I'm under no obligation to make that switch. If I do, it would be what's in the best interest of the sheriff's office and the people of Amador County, including the residents of Amador City. Once again, explaining to the city of Plymouth that they were not paying their fair share. I made it really clear that I was not going to raise our rates. This is not a heavy lift for us, but I believe, Mayor, you said something about this being the safest city, and there's a reason why it's the safest city. We've been providing the law enforcement services for well over 2 decades. Not only do my deputies provide the services here, but they are extremely proactive throughout the county, which lessens impacts to not only the rest of the county, but to the people of Amador City. When they are proactive, making car stops, making those arrests, whether it's in the city of Plymouth, Ione, etc., those people have no opportunity to come here. I'm going to let my undersheriff address a couple more issues. Thank you.
To begin, since the sheriff touched on it, here's a formalized letter rejecting the proposal for early termination of the contract. I figured since I'd be seeing you, I would just hand deliver it, let it in the mail, I'm happy to do so.
This is just fine.
Okay. One of the issues brought up at the last city council meeting was that if the city of Sutter Creek were selected as the community law enforcement provider, then the sheriff's office would continue to provide dispatch services for Amador City. The existing contract that's been in place for the last 22 years covers both dispatch and law enforcement services in one contract. If that contract is terminated, the dispatch services portion would also be terminated. So that would trigger an event where a new contract would be required if we were to provide dispatch services. Again, at the last meeting, it was sort of sold that we would be under some type of obligation to provide those services. There's nothing contractually or legally requiring the sheriff to provide dispatch services to an incorporated city. If the sheriff's office were to elect not to engage in providing dispatch services for the Amador City, some coordination would be required between Amador City and Sutter Creek for providing dispatch services. This is a 24/7 obligation, 365 days a year, and that's something for this city and its residents to consider if that contract were to be terminated. Also within our dispatch services, it's not often understood, but that includes computer-aided dispatch services and the record management system that's used by all the incorporated cities and the sheriff's office throughout Amador County. That is what you're also getting as part of this dispatch contract. So if that contract were terminated, Sutter Creek and Amador City would need to devise some type of solution for providing dispatch services, computer records, recording those phone calls, and a report writing system. So those issues weren't touched upon, and I think it's something the city council and the residents should consider before making this decision. And then one last point on the topic is we maintain an existing contract with Sutter Creek as well for dispatch services. There's nothing within that contract for Sutter Creek that would automatically make those terms apply here in Amador City for their coverage here. A separate contract would be required, and those would require discussions and agreement of the sheriff's office to participate. The next topic I would like to cover from the April 21st meeting was there were some statements made by the mayor that Amador City has attempted to renegotiate the contract with the sheriff's office for the last 4 years, and it hasn't happened. Adding that each year we have a presentation from Sheriff Redmond where he promises to have an increased presence, and that has not occurred. This statement is patently false and dishonest. No attempts have been made to reach out for renegotiating the contract, and the sheriff has not had a recurring annual presentation to the city council. If the city of Sutter Creek would prefer the services if the city of Amador City would like Sutter Creek PD to provide services here, that's certainly the city's decision to make. However, we feel that decision should be made on honest, factual information and not some of the information that was supplied at the last meeting. In conclusion, we feel that after 22 years under this existing contract, during which time there's been no increase in the service costs, the way this situation has materialized between Amador City, Sutter Creek, and the sheriff's office is disrespectful at best and dishonest at worst. I challenge those present and listening online to name other services that have not increased in price since 2004. I don't think you're going to come up with many, but the sheriff's office has provided that service loyally for 22 years at the same price. The sheriff's office feels the council members, residents, and business owners here in Amador City deserve accurate information so you can make an educated decision about your safety and future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question, Sheriff, if I can.
Yes, of course.
Would the sheriff's office still be responding to mutual aid agreements with the city of Sutter Creek and CHP if called upon?
I don't have any mutual aid agreements. What happens is in the event of an emergency, my deputies will continue to respond and assist the other agencies involved, and once the scene is stabilized, we will be leaving.
So the city of Amador City would be relying on an implicitly small police force to take care of anything small or major, as compared to the sheriff's department?
Since I just lost $810,000 out of my budget, I have to be fiscally responsible, and it's not fair to the residents of Amador County that we also service that want our resources, for me to provide those resources free of charge.
Excuse me, this is public comment, and I appreciate you speaking up, but it's not open. There isn't discussion following public comment, but thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Is there additional public comment tonight? In this case, would you like to make public comment on this?
Yes. A vote was taking place at the last city council. I officially object to that vote, and the mechanism that was discussed and voted on, that is not what the city originally agreed.
Was this about the law enforcement or what topic?
I'm sorry, this is about,
O'Neill
you're using the word of abandonment or relinquishing the right of way on O'Neill Alley.
Okay.
I please ask the mayor under Government Code Section 54956 under the Brown Act to call a special council meeting with city council and city attorney. Only the mayor can do that, which is the presumption that I was unto with our previous phone call. The city originally agreed to quit claim the property to me It has been conveyed, the city council feels that a different mechanism is necessary. I would like to discuss that with city council. Also, the abandonment of the city alleyway that is my driveway, splitting the lot line half with Mr. Brusatori to the east of me would be illegal in itself because it would cut my vehicular access off. Therefore, the entire thing would be illegal.
Okay, and that would be great content for that meeting, and I will talk to our attorney about the process of following through with that, and if this is the proper venue for us to do so. Is that okay, Pat?
Yes.
Great.
I'd also like to be noticed and placed on the next month's agenda, please.
And the agenda item is?
Quit claiming a portion of O'Neill Alley.
That would be dependent upon whether the special council meeting is held before then, and
I'm open to schedule, so as you guys let me know what schedule is available, we can remove it from the agenda, but if not,
okay.
let's go ahead and keep it on the agenda.
I will talk with our attorney about that as well. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you so much.
Is there additional public comment this evening? James?
Yeah, I would just like to update the council on the status of the apartments in the old schoolhouse. I met with the property manager today, and he informed me that they are not currently listed, but that he shared with me that the rental cost has gone up in both units from what was previously estimated by the council. So, and they will be coming online soon, and applications are now being taken, and they will be reviewed, and he expects occupancy to be available on June 1st.
Okay. Thank you, James.
Yeah.
Steve?
I'm Steve Testo, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Amador County Geological Society. First is thank you for the use of your living room here. For the last 4 meetings that we've had, we've averaged 35 people per event, ranging from about 30 up to 40. Our next talk is being scheduled for later this month. 1857 Wagon Road Survey. That doesn't sound like much until you think about the year right before the Civil War, the Comanche Wars, and more importantly, the introduction of camels in the Southwest and California. So we talked about mules, camels, yellow leg, military at the federal level, among other interesting things that occurred during that survey. And lastly, we're scheduling a series of field trips throughout the year. We're going to move our focus to mining issues in Mother Road. And the field trips will look at individual mines within Amador City and area surrounding it. We hope to start with the first one, the Spring Hill, and then the Amador mine, which you can see from here. Among those, plus Bunker Hill, Treasure, Fremont, all the big active mines of the day. And outside of what you see driving every day, we'll try and explain what you're actually looking at. And I think it'll be very informative, and there's been a lot of interest from not just local geologists, but since the general public as well. So a lot of local mining history on mine-by-mine basis. There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there other public comment for this evening? Council members, any public comment for this evening? No. Okay. Well, with that, public comment is closed. And we move on to approval of the City Council regular meeting agenda for this evening. There are no changes or adjustments to it this evening, remarkably enough. I guess with only one agenda item, fewer opportunities for me to make an error. So, thank you, Kevin.
Have a nice day.
Thanks. So do we have a motion to approve the agenda, or are there comments about making any changes to the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Nico's,
I can't hear.
Oh, motion to approve?
yeah, I was asking if there's a motion to approve the agenda, Susan.
Oh, so moved.
Nico beat you to it.
Well, second.
Okay, there's been a motion to approve the agenda as presented, with a second by Susan. We are being recorded, but because we have a forum and we're all here, and there's no one absent, we can do a voice vote. I just found that out. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0-0. Thank you very much. We're on to the consent agenda. So all matters under the consent agenda are to be considered routine by City Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless before council votes, members of council, staff, or the public request an item to be pulled for separate discussion and action. There are two items: regular meeting minutes of the 21st of April City Council meeting, and then the financial report, financial statements and the city treasurer report. Any discussion on them separately, or is there approval to consider them as one entity and approve them both?
Yeah, I would say that maybe we could separate it. Just,
Okay.
I want to make one distinction on the minutes from last.
Perfect.
Okay.
So let's talk about the minutes. What would you like to point out?
Agenda item 3, where we requested the vacation of the portion of O'Neill Alley. I think we add without prejudice there.
Okay. So to not vacate a portion of O'Neill Alley, approved blah, 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 absent, insert without prejudice.
Yeah, just at the end. Yeah.
Okay,
Or, yeah, at the end of.
got it,
Yeah, perfect.
got it. We can add that. Anything else? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the minutes with that one addition?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes with the addition of without prejudice to item 3. All in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded that?
Bruce?
Thank you.
Opposed? Motion is approved 4-0-0. And with financial statements, we have the financial report from the bookkeeper. Anything, Lydia? It was a pretty complete report earlier. Yeah, so any discussion on the financial report from the bookkeeper this month?
I'd like a copy of the charts that she showed, that,
Different item, be glad to share it. How about questions on the financial report from the bookkeeper? Okay, do we have a motion to accept the financial report as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved to accept the financial report from the bookkeeper as submitted. The monthly financial report is approved 4-0-0. And Susan, yes, I'll send a copy of the PowerPoint to each of the council members.
great, thank you.
So, regular agenda items. Man, let me zip right through here to this vast proposed draft agenda tonight. We have resolution 648, a resolution of the city of Amador calling an election of city council members, city treasurer, and city clerk to be held on November 3rd, 2026. Discussion and possible action. And this resolution came straight from the elections office of the county. So if it's very wordy, it comes from the county. And Joyce and I, or anyone else, had no part in that other than changing dates. There is a possibility that on this agenda, well, I want to clarify The position that Lydia is filling is because of a resignation of a former treasurer, and you filled the position by appointment through the next major election. But that position for city treasurer, for anyone who's interested in putting forth the paperwork and running as city treasurer, is for 2 years because of the offset of city treasurer and city clerk. The city clerk position will be for a 4-year term, and there will be at least 2 city council positions for a 4-year term. That will depend also on whether or not we have someone who would like to be appointed to fill part of through December 2026, because Melanie resigned from her position less than halfway into her term. So her term will also be on the election for 2 years, not 4 years. So they will be clarified by the elections office, but I want on the record here that by the staggering nature of council member terms, elected staff terms, one is for 4 years, one is for 2 years of our staff, elected staff. And for council, one position will be for 2 years, 2 positions will be for 4 years. So, complicated, I know, but you're all welcome to join in the festivities and serve your city. In any event, this resolution is authorizing the city of Amador City to allow the elections office to run the election, to put forth our candidates, to canvass the results, and then to charge the city for the honor of doing so. And so that is what we will be talking about tonight. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? Any questions from anyone sitting here and listening to this? Yes.
So the city elections aren't necessarily automatically cycled in with all the
They have to be by resolution, because we are an incorporated city, an entity, the county. We have to have a resolution that we are allowing the county to take care of this business for us.
Because I'm seeing it happen in other cities too, and I was wondering why it just wasn't automatically, it's more convenient or efficient.
I believe it's government code, yeah, so, but I believe, I might, yeah, anyway, that's just.
It just is.
It is. In larger counties with larger cities, cities do run some of their own elections, but that's not gonna happen in Amador City. So that's what this resolution is. Any other comment or questions on that from anybody here tonight? Okay, further deliberation from council members? No? So, do we have a motion to approve resolution number 648 that is authorizing the County Office of Elections to run the election for us, canvass the results, and then charge us?
Yes, so moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second. So, motion to approve the resolution by Bruce, second by Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 648 is approved by a 400. Thank you very much. Council member reports. That's all of our regular agenda. So, anything to report? I'll start with you, Nico.
I think I already reported the government cloud stuff last time, so yeah,
Yes.
there's not much, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna have to talk about IT because we've got because you don't have Melanie
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
gonna pick
committee
up the
anymore.
slack.
Yeah, so we'll just have to talk about that and moving forward with those. So we'll catch
Maybe a
up on
future
that.
item,
Got it.
maybe, I don't know.
Yep, I'll put it on. Future item. Okay. Susan?
Nothing.
Okay. Bruce?
Nothing.
Okay, and oops, I left Melanie on. I do not want to let her go. And let's see. I don't think I have anything. I don't have anything. Pat? And staff reports. Joyce, anything?
No, I'm surprised nobody's talking, or, reminding people of the, lawn table event that's coming up.
Yes, the long table event will be coming up on Sunday. Water Street will be closed off. They have sold out of the free tickets. There are only so many seats and tables. And please, that is what I need help with. Council members, remind me, we need to find out where the tables and chairs are by Sunday. Okay, I think I know, but help, remind me, okay? Text, did you find the tables yet, Sandy? Okay.
Do we have access to?
We had access last year. Those are our tables, the city's tables and chairs last year.
Would they be under the schoolhouse?
Send a text. I
Go
know.
explore.
I've been saying this for a week, and every night I think, oh darn, I didn't check where they are. So please help me remember, okay? Yes, and having said it out loud, I know that there'll be more reminders out there. But the longest table, there are about 100 seats. There'll be 12 people at a table, and it's a sort of a potluck event. And it's for the broader Amador City community, extending pretty largely and widely into Amador County. Okay, so 5 o'clock. So go take alternate routes if you're one of the houses up there, because the street will be blocked off. So, future agenda items, we have preliminary budget, which will be more pleasant to do now that we've had a good financial review. So we'll have that ready. We need to introduce an ordinance to restrict through trucks, because public comment period is for 2 city council meetings. And
What was the ordinance for? I didn't hear you.
to restrict through trucks, one of the traffic calming measures that the traffic calming ad hoc committee has proposed, and following through on that was a direction at the last city council meeting. That doesn't mean it's an ordinance that will go into the books. It means it's an ordinance for the public to comment on for 2 city council meetings before city council takes any action on it. And then report on the contract for community law enforcement. There is an ad hoc committee meeting tomorrow. I'm sorry you'll miss that.
Yeah, me too.
I know, but Mr. Keene will be there with me. And so thank you for hearing all that tonight, Pat. So we'll get more information and I'll let you know. Are you gonna be out of town?
I am, yeah.
I won't bother you until you return. Okay.
Good.
Next city council meeting is Tuesday, the 10th of June, 2026. Again, remember, anyone who's interested in serving on city council, if you're appointed, you serve until December 2026. If you're appointed and you want to serve for longer, put the paperwork in to be on the ballot, and then you can serve through 2026 and 2 more years. So, I'm speaking hopefully. With that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
We did it, 1 hour.
I
You
said
did.
45 minutes.
Yeah. It was
The
close.
sheriff took more time than I thought.
This is,
30 paid it.
okay, oh,
Yeah, we paid it. I didn't realize it was in there. You might have gotten my copy of letters. I wondered. Great. Okay. 2 weeks ago. And let's see, it's been on time.
Well, good.
it really passed.
It'll be Saturday at Sutter Creek. Is it gonna be down at the end?
Oh, you're gonna go to the light?
No, I'm not gonna play. I'm tired. It's not gonna be, but I will.
Yeah, it's so.
You get it, like, sure.
Yeah.
You guys didn't talk about.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Rhythm and Brews is
Law
closed now,
enforcement,
isn't
oh, you
it?
did?
Yeah, I'll be around all week. So, yeah, in the afternoons.
Used to be
work
short
out. I work out.
and then.
You go to,
Now and again.
Oh, what's his name?
Awesome, man. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Move forward
When I
on
said the bar there was closed, because it's right near where Sirocco Hardware was. And then the market's in the parking lot at the far end, across the post office.
The action on the meeting tomorrow.
You know how much we're on the hook for? I mean, obviously, the sheriff is not gonna
It's all
give us a
incumbent
break
upon
on the cost.
the sheriff agreeing
So if we want
to
to fix right away, we have
really
to,
agreeing
pull them out to
to
Amador
end
County for a
the
year.
22-year contract.
And then
they
also pay whatever
declined the
Southern
opportunity to do that.
We'll
And you
stop the
can
recording
quote me
on
on, they
that.
declined the opportunity to do that.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
Yeah, I had that, something like that.
Get out of here.
So.
yeah, nothing on the record now,
Oh, yeah, I gotta stop.
because that's probably gonna be discussed tomorrow.
Here, let me squeeze through.
You're not gonna be able to do
Sorry.
that, at least now, because
And whether or not.
Thank you.
It is in the budgetary
Can we go outside?
interest.